The UCP government invokes the notwithstanding clause on a trio of transgender laws.
This is one of the most consequential actions our government will take during our time in office.
LGBTQ+ activists say the move is an attack on all Albertans.
Democracy dies when governments override the courts to impose ideology.
Plus, a new report suggests the province wants to allow doctors to work in the public and private system at the same time.
This will cause wait lists to go up.
Draft legislation is stirring up controversy.
This is American-style medicine. We know it doesn't work.
And an emotional reunion after a decade apart. A Syrian family finally together again in Calgary.
Oh, everything now awesome. I'm so happy.
CTV Calgary, local breaking news with Tara Nelson.
Hello and thank you for joining us. Late this afternoon, the government introduced Bill 9, legislation that targets transgender youth in Alberta. And the UCP government once again used the notwithstanding clause to get around any infringements of charter rights. The province says it is unapologetically defending parents and children.
First reading of Bill 9, the Protecting Alberta's Children Statutes Amendment Act. Bill 9 will invoke the notwithstanding clause in the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms.
It is the second time in this fall session the UCP majority government has invoked the notwithstanding clause. Just weeks ago, it was used to force the end to the teachers' strike. Stephanie Thomas joins us from the newsroom. And Stephanie, the bill targets pronoun use in schools, healthcare access, and girls' and women's sports.
Tara, by tabling this latest bill with the notwithstanding clause, it blocks court challenges for those three issues pertaining to gender identity. Now, the province says it consulted teachers, doctors, and coaches regarding Bill 9, and as part of the Protecting Alberta Children Statutes Amendment Act, it bans hormone therapy for those under age 16 and gender-affirming surgery for those under age 18. It requires parental consent for pronoun changes at school, and parents must opt in for sexual health classes for their children. And it blocks trans athletes over age 12 from competing in female amateur sport, requiring proof of gender at birth. Premier Danielle Smith says her government is protecting Alberta children and parental rights. Meanwhile, some worry about the mental health fallout for vulnerable youth and the impact of government turning to the last option of resort twice now.
This government does not turn to the notwithstanding clause unless the stakes warrant it. And in this case, the stakes could not be higher.
Every time this Premier talks about these bills, there's a spike in hate crimes. We have seen a massive spike in hate crimes at the university alone, and that this is more people are going to get hurt, more people are going to die. We've got to come together. So thank you to the federal.
The ATA says teachers and schools are required to keep vulnerable students safe. But with this overstep in power, there's an increased risk of harm. The Alberta Federation of Labour says it's deeply alarmed that the notwithstanding clause has been used again preemptively and says that this is a direct attack on human rights. Queer Citizens United will be holding a rally on Thursday at 5 outside the provincial Calgary office building that's on 5th Avenue and 6th Street Southwest. Tara.
Okay, Stephanie, thank you. Two-tier health care is coming to Alberta. That's according to new reporting from the Globe and Mail. Draft legislation obtained by that publication says the province plans to soon allow its physicians to work in both the private and public sector, a first-of-its-kind parallel model in Canada. The legislation isn't near ready, but as Tim Brooke explains, it's already sparking heated debate.
Alberta will soon allow its physicians working in the public healthcare system to also offer services in the private markets. Right now, it's one or the other. Reporting from the Globe and Mail says the new system will soon be part of the Alberta Healthcare Insurance Act.
I can't speak to specifics of legislation before it gets into the House, but I am always looking for opportunities to make sure that Albertans have increased access to the supports and the resources that they need.
This professor of healthcare policy says it is clearly two-tiered medicine.
It's a major concern for publicly funded healthcare. This will cause wait lists to go up in the public system. The only people that will benefit are those who are fortunate enough to have the money to pay.
Critics worry doctors will make more money working fewer hours in the private system, eventually incentivizing them away from the public one.
Doctors will keep up their wait lists in the public system longer so that people are willing to to move over to the private system.
Imagine you are at Canadian Tire getting ready for your winter tires, and there is a huge lineup for the cashier. And the manager says, no problem, I'll open a second lane. So they open a second lane, creating two lineups, and there's only one cashier covering both lineups.
So will the Premier commit today to dissolve this legislature and cause an election on this issue?
Well, Mr. Speaker, no. But let me tell you what we will do. We are going to continue to create the very best environment for doctors and specialists to work here.
There are proponents of this system. Some believe the model can streamline care and help certain patients receive treatment in a timely manner, something that doesn't happen enough in Canada. But the idea has been floated and flopped before. Ralph Klein tried the third way approach in 2006 before dropping it after intense public pushback.
Tim joins us now. Tim, Ottawa will be watching this likely legislation closely.
Well, yes, Tara, because in theory, the federal government could withhold health funding from any of the provinces if it felt like they were trying to skirt around the Canada Health Act. Now, we don't yet know the specifics of what this bill will look like by the time it's tabled, but we still asked Ottawa today if that could be in the cards here in Alberta. The federal health ministry would only tell us that it's having conversations with the Danielle Smith government about this potential piece of legislation and didn't want to comment further, Tara, until it had a few more specifics.
Thank you, Tim. The UCP has now taken its fight to protect the use of the Progressive Conservative name to court. The UCP is suing its former MLAs, Peter Guthrie and Scott Sinclair, and Alberta Party leader Lindsay Amatea. The lawsuit seeks to block the changing of the Alberta Party name to the Alberta Progressive Conservative Party. The UCP claims they have owned and used the name since acquiring it after the merger between the PCs and the Wild Rose Party. Guthrie declined our request for an interview today, but has posted a video on social media.
This isn't about trademarks. This isn't about party names, and it certainly isn't about justice. This is about intimidation, and it fits a pattern. From the beginning, the UCP has used threats and intimidation to silence anyone who challenges them.
The lawsuit claims the defendants have engaged in a conspiracy, and it seeks $500,000 in damages. Well, if you're outside today, you know it was a wet and chilly day. A freezing rainfall warning was in effect for a while this afternoon. Roads were slick in some places, but there were no major problems reported. Gina joins us now, and I guess that's what precipitated some snowfall today, too.
Yeah, exactly. And we're really seeing the bulk of it fall right now as we're on the edge of a warm front that's pushing into Calgary, which I know sounds a little contradicting that we're seeing a warm front and snow, but I'll break that down for you in more detail in our next hit here. But what we need to know right now is zero out there, reduced visibility outside of the station right now and certainly on the roads as well. And we're seeing that mixed precip around Calgary tracking to the northeast. So we do have some watches and warnings still in effect. Freezing rain warning not in Calgary, but just to the east of us on the Trans-Canada Highway there, transitioning into a fog advisory. We should start to see this snow lighten up and end by around 10 o'clock tonight. And then we see a nice clearing effect by the morning and a nice warm up by midweek. I'll have more on the nice above seasonal temperatures returning back to the forecast coming up, Tara.
Thank you, Gina. An emotional reunion unfolded at the Calgary airport for a Syrian refugee family that hasn't seen each other for 10 years. After spending a decade navigating Canada's immigration system, they were finally able to welcome their daughter and her young family to Alberta last night. Terry Fikowski has more on the family's long journey to be reunited.
A mother anxiously awaits her daughter and young family to arrive at the Calgary International Airport, a reunion she's dreamt of for years.
Well, I can't sleep and woke up like just thinking about my daughter. She will to come soon.
This moment has been a decade in the making. A long-awaited embrace with her daughter, son-in-law, and 2 grandchildren she's never met until now.
Oh, everything now awesome. I'm so happy.
This is the best day of my life. I never felt this happy in my life together, all the family together.
After fleeing conflict in Syria in 2012, the Mohammed family took refuge in Jordan before coming to Canada in 2016. Their daughter, Bara, was expected to follow, but she was 19 and recently married, meaning she had to apply separately. Her application was denied due to concerns around her husband's Facebook activity, sparking a decade-long fight with the immigration system.
His uncle worked for the Syrian police. And so in the picture, he was carrying a gun. So there were some concerns with regards to that picture.
According to Global Affairs, Canada has resettled more than 100,000 Syrian refugees since 2015, with millions still in need of humanitarian aid due to ongoing conflict.
I'm very happy that they're here to get to build a new future. They don't get struggle or ever feel if they're ever going to wake up again.
The last time Bara saw her 3 siblings, they were only teenagers. They'll now head home to Lethbridge, where the rest of the family has spent the 10 years building a new life.
I recently bought a house in Lethbridge, and I renovate the basement for her. This is the first time that we all together.
Noticeably absent is Bara's father, who passed away, but always hoped his daughter would come to Canada. The reunion marking the end of a long, painful separation and start of a new life together.
I feel like I'm dreaming. I can't believe it's actually happening.
Terry Fikowski, CTV News, Calgary.
You're watching CTV News, Calgary.
The votes are in. Moraine Lake will be featured on Alberta's new license plates. The iconic image in Banff National Park got the most votes in a provincial contest. The new design also features a strong and free motto that the province says reflects Alberta's bold identity, economic strength, and deep-rooted provincial pride. The new look will be available next year. A flip-flop on flags has fizzled. An effort to ban the raising of foreign national flags on Calgary City property wasn't even debated. We'll tell you why. And later, wild wolves in BC may be so smart they use tools to hunt. We'll show you the video that has researchers amazed. An Airdrie man is charged with voyeurism after incidents at 2 Calgary shopping malls. Police say the first incident happened in a fitting room at Sport Check in Chinook Centre on June 30th. A girl noticed a cell phone pointing up at her when she was in the fitting room. She told her mother, who told store staff. Then on July 19th at the Winners store at Northland Mall, a woman noticed a man standing near the change room and a phone on the floor of the fitting room. The man took off. Police searched a home and seized 7 cell phones and a hard drive. 25-year-old Benjamin Ryan Turcotte is now charged with 3 counts of voyeurism. In Washington, the House of Representatives has voted overwhelmingly in favor of a bill to force the Justice Department to release its files on convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein.
And I want every woman to know, every Epstein survivor to know, every woman across the country who is a survivor, who is a victim of assault, that today we see you.
The bill passed 427 to 1. The only no vote was from Representative Clay Higgins, a Louisiana Republican. Moments after the vote, Senate Majority Leader John Thune said his chamber will act swiftly on the legislation. U.S. President Donald Trump has said he will sign the bill into law after initially urging his supporters to dismiss the matter as a hoax. Epstein was accused of sexually abusing and trafficking underage girls. Emails and other documents from the late financier's estate show his connections to global leaders, Wall Street power brokers, and influential political figures, including Trump. An effort to ban foreign national flag raisings at Calgary City Hall has failed, at least for now. Jordan Canagan is at City Hall tonight, and Jordan, the motion fizzled before it even reached debate.
And Tara, what it means is Calgary's current flag policy will remain the same, at least for the time being. An effort to bring forth an urgent notice of motion to ban foreign countries' flags from being raised here at City Hall didn't even make it to debate this morning. Councillors voting against adding it to the agenda. It comes just days after the Palestinian flag was raised at Calgary City Hall for the first time ever. Mayor Jeremy Farkas says he heard concerns from members of the public that national flag raisings can heighten tensions here in Calgary.
The spirit of the courtesy flagpole has really been lost over the past several years as we live in a much more fraught international environment, when we live in a state of constant warfare of various countries against other countries. And the flying of any flag, it really gives the endorsement of City Hall to that flag, regardless of whether that's the actual intent.
Now, in voting against this, some councillors say that they did not think that this was an urgent matter. They want to hear from more Calgarians before making a decision on this. Do not expect this issue to go away, though. The motion can still be introduced. It'll just have to go through a committee. That will take several more weeks, if not several months. In the meantime, foreign national flags will continue to be raised here at predetermined dates. There are 2 left for 2025. Tara?
Okay, Jordan, thank you. It appears that Canada's job prospects are not just frustrating young Canadians, but highly skilled and educated immigrants who are leaving this country within 5 years of landing. And the fear is that loss of talent will hurt. CTV national correspondent Judy Trinh delves deeper into the implications of the onward migration.
I'm a Canadian citizen, so it's just like it doesn't matter sometimes.
Ankit Mishra immigrated from India. He has a master's degree in international economics and expertise in AI. He speaks French, yet he keeps getting turned down for jobs in Canada. So he's looking overseas, and he's not alone.
Canada's most capable immigrants are, in fact, most likely to leave.
A new study by the Institute for Canadian Citizenship analyzes 40 years of immigration data and found that 1 out of 5 permanent residents leave Canada within 25 years. The most capable, those with master's degrees or PhDs, leave at twice the rate of someone with a bachelor's degree. They're more likely to move on faster.
The 5-year departure rate for immigrant healthcare workers is 36%. That's the same for scientists. The 5-year departure rate for experienced executives is 193% above average.
Human resource professionals say the government is good at recruiting immigrants, but needs to develop a policy to retain them, which includes recognizing their foreign work credentials.
The main thing is just really giving people that sense of inclusion, that sense of belonging, that sense that they can contribute their, bring all the whole assets, knowledge, skills, and experience they have.
The Institute projects that within 5 years, more than 20,000 immigrants will leave. Mishra will be among them.
In Canada, I'll probably never achieve my potential. But in a place like America, I always have a chance.
As Canada tries to diversify its economy in the middle of a trade war, immigration experts say the federal government's decision to cap immigration levels will further reduce the talent pool necessary to grow the economy. Judy Trinh, CTV News, Ottawa.
This is CTV News, Calgary.
Let's bring Gina back in as we look ahead to our 5-day forecast. So a little bit of snow, but will it last?
Not for much longer. Only a couple more hours of this wet weather system before we'll see it dissipate, and then a nice surge of high pressure back on tap for midweek. But right now we are seeing the pressure fall. It's already dropped a couple of millibars since I last checked last hour. Winds circulating in a whole bunch of different directions, but right now out of the north-northwest at 19 kilometers an hour. So they've picked up as well, those winds, and they're coming from that cooler direction right now, and that's allowing for the rain we saw earlier to transition to the snowfall we're seeing now. We're sitting at 0 degrees currently. That was our high for today, and normal for this time of year is about 1 degree. So it feels cool and wet and kind of miserable out there, but this is actually usually what November looks like. -1 up at Red Deer, same in Edmonton along the QE2 there. Now, a lot of the roads in and around Calgary are dealing with some slick conditions right now. Here's a look at that low that's just riding right along the Rockies there, but it has that warm front that's developed that's creating that lift that allows for this precipitation we're seeing. Right behind it, though, is the cold front, so that will catch up to the warm front a little later this evening, and once that happens, these lows lose that energy, they snuff out, and like I mentioned, that ridge will move in. We're already seeing that freezing rain warning that was over Calgary earlier this afternoon track to the east of us, and its proximity is getting smaller and smaller smaller throughout the course of the evening here. So that should wrap up again, probably around 10 o'clock tonight. We'll see the end of the snow falling. But here's a look at some of the roads in Calgary, Crowchild, at Sarcee, and then Deerfoot Trail as well. Very wet out there. Take it slow and really reduce visibility on Highway 3 west of Medicine Hat right now. But the rainfall tapers off throughout the next couple of hours, clearing conditions overnight. A cool start to Wednesday morning. So with this precipitation that we've seen, it could be slippery out on the roads for tomorrow morning as well, but we'll improve to 4 degrees above seasonal on Wednesday there. And then we start to ride the jet stream a little bit over Thursday and Friday. We're on the warm side of it, but we'll get breezy conditions as we enter into Friday there from the west at 20 to 40 kilometers an hour. But that helps us get to that nice high of 9 degrees. Saturday is looking great as well. So is Sunday, but we start to see more cold air move in. That could produce some flurries, and we'll see more of a cool off next week. That's your Action Furnace 5-day forecast.
Hundreds of first responders from across Western Canada are in our city for a discussion around mental health. This is the second Western Canada First Responders Mental Health Conference. It's tailored for first responders. They're the ones, of course, dealing with traumatic events. It comes as organizations see rising burnout rates, PTSD-related injuries, and staff shortages.
Trauma-exposed professionals, as a nature of their job, are exposed to things on a more rapid basis than the general public would be, and see trauma as a part of their job, because, you know, as it's often said, they're the ones that run towards danger when all the smart people run away from it.
Keynote speaker, Olympian and physician Dr. Haley Wickenheiser shared her stories on resilience and the importance of long-term wellness. Calgary will soon get a new live-in mental health facility for children. CASA Mental Health will break ground on the new facility in Northeast Calgary next spring. It will serve 80 kids dealing with depression, anxiety, and ADHD each year. The facility will be partly funded using a $75 million investment announced by the province earlier this year for new facilities in Calgary, Fort McMurray, and Medicine Hat. It will open next fall. If you drive a Toyota RAV4, there's something you should know. It was the most stolen vehicle across Canada last year. We'll tell you what other vehicles are on the list and how to best protect your ride. And a simple production with a serious message, a lesson on how to stay one step ahead of scammers. New stats show that car thefts in Canada are down unless you happen to be driving one of the desirable models that the criminals want. One high-end SUV is particularly at risk, the Lexus TX series. But at the top of the list in 2024, the Toyota RAV4. CTV's Pat Foran details the top 10 in this billion-dollar business.
No one wants to have their vehicle stolen. The headaches with replacing it, the expense, dealing with police and insurance is a major hassle.
I went out of the house and the car that is normally there was gone.
Rebecca Cuthbertson of Stratford was visiting family in Toronto when her car was stolen last night. It was found in a school parking lot this morning, likely waiting there to be scooped up by thieves.
It does feel like a violation. Just that she's got her back window smashed, and I'm not allowed to touch the car, go into it. It's been taken for fingerprinting.
Cuthbertson's 2019 Honda Civic is one of the most stolen cars in Canada. Topping the list is the Toyota RAV4, a favorite for thieves worldwide.
It's very serviceable globally. It's a good utility vehicle, meaning it can be used in a variety of terrains and jurisdictions.
The RAV4 was the most stolen, with more than 2,000 being taken across the country. It's followed by the Dodge Ram 1500 series, the Honda CR-V, the Ford F-150 series, and the Honda Civic. Even though the auto insurance industry lost $1 billion to auto theft last year, investigators say at least when it comes to stealing cars, the trend is going down and not up. There was an overall decrease in auto theft across Canada of 19%, but in the first half of this year, auto thefts in Ontario were down by almost 26%.
We're not out of the woods yet, but definitely continuing doing what we're doing and combating this vehicle crime to make Canadians safe.
As for Cuthbertson, she refers to her car as Grace and can't wait to get her back.
I'm glad they found her. It's going to be a few days before I can have access to her again. I am very happy she's been found.
Pat Foran, CTV News.
As police crack down on auto theft, criminals want more expensive vehicles to steal to keep their illegal profits up. Police say thefts of luxury cars worth more than $200,000 have spiked by almost 50%. Roblox is stepping up its age verification system. The company is adding a safety feature using facial age estimation technology. It will also offer an optional age-based chat feature, so minor users will only be allowed to chat with other minors who are of similar age and not adult users. This comes after several lawsuits allege the platform helps facilitate child sexual exploitation and grooming. A Calgary arts group is tackling cyber fraud and phishing scams in a creative way. The Calgary Animated Objects Society is taking a puppet show on the road, entertaining seniors at care homes across the city this week. It's also using the art form to demonstrate all the ways scammers can be creative and deceptive. Tyson Fedor explains.
About a dozen seniors were treated to a one-of-a-kind puppet show at the Clover Living Seniors Home in Chinatown.
We realized how pervasive scamming is for seniors, and we thought, wow, puppets have just such a way of talking about things in a way that's really fun.
The play is called Fishing. It's performed by the group Grey Guardians and depicts a crow named Don casting a fishing rod on the side of the dock. He reels in a big catch, a cat named Oscar disguised as a fish.
So I built the crow and the cat, and they have, over the past few weeks, become their own little personalities.
Phishing is where scammers trick you by call, text, or email to share personal information or download malicious malware. And this is the first play that was translated into Mandarin for residents.
I understand that the puppets are just like performers. They're performing a show, and I guess I have to listen to the English, and then I'll do my Chinese part.
According to the Canadian Anti-Fraud Centre, more than 23,000 Canadians have lost $544 million to fraud so far this year.
If they called you, be suspicious. The cost to the scammers is essentially zero. They just need the internet and somewhere in the world and a way to take your money.
For senior Benjamin Owl, the show is a great reminder of what you should do if you sense you're being scammed.
I receive email all the time, and I notice the bad part of it, and I didn't pay attention and delete it. And when somebody called me, if the number is not from my own directory, I just don't answer any call at all.
The show will continue on the road, helping as many seniors as possible.
We have plans to do 3 more different plays that cover different topics of scamming, and we're looking to develop a tour that puppeteers can go around and tour to different homes.
Tyson Fedor, CTV News, Calgary.
This fishing show will be presented at several other seniors' homes this week before it will be made public in February as part of Blockheater's family programming at the Confluence. It's a toy many of us would remember from childhood. It seems like these two might have been practicing since they were kids. We have some slinky specialists next. Scientists have long known that wolves are highly social and highly intelligent, but new evidence captured on camera is being described as jaw-dropping. Would you believe that one wolf has figured out how to use a tool invented by humans? CTV's Sinjin Alexander reports.
That's not a dog playing fetch, but a wolf with a buoy in its mouth. She wasn't trained to do this, but somehow knew her effort would pay off.
We always have known that, how smart and how intelligent, wolves are.
The images were captured by researchers who've been trying to learn even more about the animals, in particular in the Haitsouk Nation. They were also trying to solve a mystery, why so many crab traps were being damaged. So they set up cameras and audio recorders.
And we thought, maybe we'd see a seal going by or we'd see a mink going by, and we might get a bit of a hint as to what's doing this.
There were clues. Buoys were munched up like chew toys. But it couldn't be a bear, couldn't be a wolf, because the traps were set way out in deep water. Yet the eye of the camera told a different story.
Wow. Yes. We weren't anticipating seeing this.
After getting out of the water, a quick shake to dry off, somehow the wolf knew to reach down, get hold of the line, and reel in the trap. She also knew all of it had to come in because the goodies, that's the bait, were in the orange cup.
It's not surprising that they're able to figure something like this out. Like, they are just so intelligent. They are so much like us. There's a lot of familiarity there.
So far, researchers don't believe the wolf was after some crab and was quite satisfied by the snack in the bait cup. However, she may surprise them yet. St. John Alexander, CTV News, Vancouver.
Kind of amazing, right? So smart.
I love it.
Yeah, that's great. Well, trending today is all about skills, too. So we're going to start off with a childhood toy that I think, will all remember, but I don't know about kids today. We were happy to get the Slinky to walk down the stairs. I don't know. These two are Slinky masters.
What the heck?
Wow. This video has gone viral, actually. About 57 million views on it now, with a lot of people commenting they want a Slinky back and they want to learn how to do this.
My Slinky was just silver, not a...
Same. It wasn't neon green. Yes, it was silver. Yeah.
It didn't move like that.
No, that's pretty cool, though.
So cool.
Well, speaking of skills, check out these smooth moves. Dave Curry, he can't stop moving his feet. This UK dancer can be seen in bars and parks, sometimes even on the street. Posts videos all the time getting his groove on. You don't need a partner when you're this good. You just do all the dancing yourself.
Flies through the room, right?
It's got 150,000 Instagram followers.
Wow.
I love the jeans.
I know, the jeans are cool too. It's got it all going on. And finally, a skill no one really needs, but this man has it.
Hello, this is my impression of the iPhone keyboard when you were typing a text to your friend.
That's basically perfect. I don't know how he figured out he had that talent, but yeah. He's got the speed of the typing, he's got the backspacing sound, he nailed it.
How long did he practice that?
How long did he practice? I don't know. Yeah.
More than the Slinkies, I think.
Yes.
Maybe.
Pretty good, though. Well, still to come, a concerning sign for investors. Home Depot is cutting its earning forecast on sales that are slower than expected. We have the details in our business report.
Yeah, that wintry mix still over Calgary right now. Driving conditions out there are not ideal. I looked at Alberta 511. Definitely slick, snow-covered roads in the city. Of course, that snow's melting on contact, but it's slippery out there. And visibility is quite low right now, too. That's why you're seeing the lamppost in this shot here, because we can't really see anything beyond that site. So 0 degrees currently. That was our high today. Trending just a little below normal, but obviously feels very gloomy out there with the conditions right now. And this is where we're at on the radar satellite, still seeing a lot of that snow actually circulating back into Calgary now from the northwest. But this will all start to move east and dissipate throughout the evening, calming things down, and then we get a nice clearing overnight. This ridge starts to develop over parts of Western Canada, mostly in BC, tracks into Alberta more on your Thursday and Friday, and flattens out as well. So you can see the jet stream right over Calgary here. So breezy on Friday and likely into Saturday as well. But that'll help keep things warm and above seasonal throughout the weekend. Gradually, we'll start to see temperatures cool off into next week. But your Action Furnace 24-hour forecast, again, brought to you by Action Furnace, fixed right or it's free, shows that snow tapering off right around 10 o'clock tonight. Nice sunny start for the morning there, but a little brisk, but back up to above seasonal by Wednesday afternoon.
The UCP government is invoking the notwithstanding clause again. It has introduced legislation that would override charter rights to implement laws affecting transgender Albertans. It affects girls' sports, pronouns, and trans youth health care. A Globe and Mail report about draft healthcare legislation is stirring up controversy. Critics say the idea of doctors working in public and private healthcare at the same time will hurt patients. And the UCP is suing 2 of its former MLAs and the Alberta Party leader. The UCP contends they can't use the Progressive Conservative name for their own party. Canada, the U.S. and Finland signed a joint statement of intent in Washington today concerning the Arctic. The American Homeland Security Secretary says it will help protect the region from enemies and strengthen a commitment to allies there.
Thank you for coming to memorialize this significant event, not just for the United States of America, but for our great countries, Canada and Finland, and the relationship that we're going to continue to build.
The secretary was joined by Canada's ambassador to the U.S. and Finland's Minister of Economic Affairs. By signing the statement, they took the next step in building new icebreakers. The collaborative effort, known as the Ice Pact, was initiated during the Biden administration. Ottawa says the agreement will enhance collective capabilities to produce icebreaking vessels needed to assert our polar and Arctic sovereignty. A big North American retailer reported earnings today, and it missed the mark. That's triggering concerns about the upcoming holiday shopping season. Here's BNN Bloomberg's Marilla Fernandez.
Home Depot not only missed the mark, but also cut its profit outlook for 2025. The home improvement retailer says it expected a sales boost from lower interest rates, but that didn't happen. It also lost out on storm revenue. There have been fewer big weather events that typically push up demand for roofing materials, generators, and other supplies. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is up to 71.53. West Texas Intermediate crude is up to 60.67. Western Canadian Select is down over $1 to 47.33. And the TSX is down 39 points today to 30,036. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marilla Fernandez.
2 women have been charged after an animal cruelty investigation in northwestern Alberta. In September, Valley View RCMP started investigating allegations of animals in distress and animal cruelty. Police say the animals were in distress on 2 properties operating as an animal rescue. A few had to be euthanized on site. 16 animal welfare agencies from across the province took in cats, dogs, horses, and other livestock. The women are facing 2 criminal code offenses and 1 under the Animal Protection Act. The Alberta Animal Rescue Crew Society has an unexpected surge of hamsters. It all started when a woman purchased a hamster from a pet store and then discovered it was pregnant. That hamster had babies, and before ARCS could help, those hamsters had babies too. By the time ARCS arrived, they had 35 hamsters to pick up. The animal shelter has taken in more than half for now and are hoping to find them new homes.
We're really hopeful that they can come forward and do some adoptions. We have 19 hamsters available for adoption. They've all had a vet exam, they've all had deworming, and they are ready to find their new homes. If you're not in a position to adopt, we would really love any type of donations to help us care for them.
The adoption fee for a hamster is $10. If you would like to donate to ARCS, they're looking for 20-gallon aquarium tanks with lids, small animal bedding, hamster feed, and solid hamster wheels. The province will be testing the emergency alert system tomorrow. The alert is set for 1:55 p.m. on TV, radio, websites, social media, and the Alberta Emergency Alert mobile app. Regular testing is typically held every May and November, and it keeps Albertans informed during emergencies like tornadoes, wildfires, floods, and amber alerts. The province is urging people to download the app and make sure they have supplies on hand for emergencies. Those would include water, non-perishable food, flashlights, batteries, and a first aid kit. The UFC Dinos hockey team is having a tremendous season, and a lot of the players point to the team captain for leading the way. That story is next. The Grey Cup champions paraded down the streets of Regina today. Thousands of fans lined the route, cheering on their Rough Riders. Many fans and players hooted, rang bells, drank a little beer, and smoked cigars. The celebration culminated in a boisterous rally at the Saskatchewan legislature. Quarterback Trevor Harris told fans he is thankful for their support, and the Riders will try for a repeat win when the big game is hosted next year in Calgary. The Calgary Flames are in the midst of a pretty heavy road schedule. Glenn is back with us, and Glenn, the Flames play 7 of their next 8 games away from home.
Tara, it all gets started tonight as the Flames in Chicago to play the Blackhawks. The 2 teams met earlier this month with the Hawks skating away with a 4-0 victory. Now, earlier today, the Flames made some news as they picked up forward John Beecher from Boston on the waiver wire. Beecher was drafted in the first round of the 2019 NHL draft. The 24-year-old has some size. He's 6'3", 220 pounds. He's a center, and the Flames will no doubt try him out on the 4th line. Beecher will meet the team in Buffalo tomorrow night. Still not sure if he's going to be in the lineup. As for tonight's game, just got underway. Flames and Hawks scoreless in the first period. The World Junior Hockey Championship is returning to Alberta next year. The games will take place in Edmonton and Red Deer. Rogers Place will be the main venue, hosting 17 games, including both semifinals and the medal games. Marchand Crane Centrium in Red Deer will host 14 games, and a few other Alberta communities may be used for pre-tournament and training practices. Next year's World Juniors kick off on December 26th and wrap up January the 5th. U of C Dinos men's hockey team is on the road this weekend. They're in Winnipeg for a pair of games against the Bisons. So far this year, the captain has helped lead the way.
But he ends up with it anyway. Stewart in front, and there's the opening goal.
The U of C Dinos are off to one of their best starts in program history. The Dinos have jumped out of the gate with a 12-2 record and are in first place in the Canada West East Division.
Yeah, we're just finding ways to win games right now. I'd say we're exceeding expectations for sure going into the year with the coaches poll and everything. So yeah, we found chemistry as a team with so many new guys early on.
The Dinos started the season with 17 new players. Head coach Mark Howell admits he wasn't sure what to expect, but he's been pleasantly surprised.
We're quite happy with where we're at, obviously, and I guess, if you would have asked me in August, I'd probably be surprised at 12-2, but as we went through preseason, started the regular season, we felt we had a chance to be a pretty good team.
Anderson fires that one in, deflects, loose puck in front, and they score!
Kid has played a big role in the fast start. The 23-year-old leads the league in scoring with 6 goals and 23 assists in 14 games.
Yeah, found some confidence. Had a tough goal last year with some injuries, so didn't really get my feet under me at all last year. And then this year, had a good offseason and came in with high expectations for myself and found some confidence early.
This is Kid's last year with the Dinos, and he wants to make it a good one. He's embraced the role of being a leader on the team.
We had 8 or 9 graduate last year, so there was obviously some needed leadership to replace those guys. And so I just kind of took what I learned from them, and along with the veteran guys we have this year, we're all figuring it out together with all the new guys, and yeah, it's gone well so far.
Howell has high praise for his captain.
He's had a really good start, and he's a leader. He leads by example. He's in great shape. He's an academic All-Canadian in school, so he lives and breathes what it means to be a Dino hockey player.
Dinos face the Bisons Friday night and then again on Saturday, and still no score in the Flames game.
Good stuff, Glenn. Thank you for that. Let's get our final peek at the weather, Gina.
Yeah, we're still dealing with some mixed precipitation over the city right now, but that'll dissipate over the next few hours, then back into some nice sunshine. Maybe we'll get a sunrise like this one that Robert captured in Medicine Hat earlier this week for our weather window, brought to you by Lux Windows and Doors, crafting quality windows and doors for your style, budget, and Alberta's climate. Now, it's been a pretty solid, steady November so far. We've seen a lot of sunshine, a lot of temperatures above seasonal. That trend continues for much of this week, getting to that peak high of 9 degrees on Friday with some stronger westerly winds. But when we look at that 10-day forecast, yeah, all good things have to come to an end, and eventually we'll get more of that winter-like feel starting next week. But this weekend, maybe just hold on to the nice, pleasant conditions and take advantage of it.
Couldn't fight it forever, I suppose.
Exactly.
We had to welcome winter eventually. Thank you, Gina. And thank you for your company tonight. Have a terrific evening. For breaking news anytime, go to our website. See you tomorrow.